Hello there, and a very warm welcome to this explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to guide you through today's fascinating source material. We've got a brilliant journey ahead of us, unpacking some incredibly potent strategies that have literally shaped history. But before we get properly stuck in, there is a quick bit of housekeeping we must cover. The content in this video is intended for entertainment and general informational purposes only. The views, opinions, and information presented do not constitute advice of any kind. While every effort is made to ensure accuracy, no guarantees are made regarding the completeness or reliability of any information shared. Always seek qualified professional guidance before making any decisions based on content you see here. Right then, with that out of the way, let's begin. So, how do you navigate high-stakes power dynamics? I mean, it's a challenge as old as human civilization itself, isn't it? Whether you were walking the halls of a royal palace centuries ago or stepping into a high-pressure corporate office today, those undercurrents of power, they are always flowing. Our explainer today tackles this exact question by dissecting a rather ruthless but undeniably captivating synthesis of human behavior. Section 1. The Game of Power. To truly understand the rules of this game, we're drawing directly from Robert Greene's incredibly well-researched book, The 48 Laws of Power. Think of this source material as a comprehensive synthesis of timeless philosophies, gathering the absolute sharpest insights from historical heavyweights, from Niccolò Machiavelli to Sun Tzu. It's essentially a distillation of how power has been seized, maintained, and lost throughout all of human history. Greene argues that these laws are, well, they're utterly inescapable. He writes, whether it is in the boardroom, at a power lunch, or a cocktail party, these laws will make you master of the game. And what's absolutely vital to take away from this is that we aren't just looking at dusty old history lessons here. No, we're examining a highly practical playbook for understanding human weaknesses, egos, and the clever cunning required to survive and thrive today. Section 2, Never Outshine the Master. Okay, let's dive into this and look at Law 1. The core mechanic at play here is surprisingly simple, but honestly, it's so often overlooked. It is entirely about making sure that whoever sits above you in the hierarchy feels completely secure in their position, their intelligence, and their authority. Greene's wisdom in a nutshell for Law 1 is basically this. Accidentally outshining your boss with your own natural talent can trigger some incredibly deadly insecurities. To avoid this, you've got to present your ideas almost like an echo of your master's thoughts. If you happen to possess a sharper intellect, the text actually suggests acting as if you don't. You must never take your position for granted. And remember, discreet flattery, perhaps making it seem like you're seeking their invaluable expertise, is a remarkably powerful tool, for sure. Section 3. History's power players. And this brilliantly illustrates how the theory translates into reality, because history is absolutely littered with people who either mastered this law or fell completely foul of it. To really grasp the gravity of Law 1, let's take a look at a dramatic historical contrast provided in our source material. Here we have two deeply contrasting fates. On the left, Nicolas Fouquet, the finance minister for King Louis XIV. Fouquet blatantly transgressed the law by throwing this outrageously lavish party meant to show off his connections and charm. He thought this would make him indispensable. Instead, it deeply offended the Sun King, who felt insecure and completely overshadowed by his own minister. Fouquet's reward? He was conveniently disposed of and imprisoned. Now contrast that tragic fall with Galileo on the right, who beautifully observed the law by dedicating his discovery of Jupiter's moons to his powerful patrons, the Medicis. Let's look closer at Galileo's strategy, because it really is a masterclass in this law. You see, he didn't just hand over a dry scientific paper. He strategically commissioned an emblem representing the Medici sons orbiting their patriarch. He perfectly aligned his astronomical discovery with the royal symbol of the Medici family, which was the planet Jupiter. He presented his own brilliance by entirely reflecting the light of the Medicis, and because he managed their egos so flawlessly, they appointed him their official court mathematician and philosopher, guaranteeing him a steady salary and a very comfortable life. Section 4. The Modern Boardroom. Now, it's quite easy to look at 17th century kings and Italian astronomers and think, well, that's just ancient history. But let's bring this narrative straight into the present day. Imagine a modern tech boardroom, an absolute pressure cooker of an environment. You've got a brilliant product manager who has just spotted a massive, costly software flaw in the company's flagship product. How they handle this flaw literally dictates their career. If they go in guns blazing, publicly pointing out the flaw and criticizing the senior director, well, that is the modern equivalent of Fouquet's party. It's absolute career suicide. Instead, they've got to navigate this carefully. First, they identify the flaw privately. They then approach the senior director, not with an accusation, but asking for their seasoned input. Finally, they frame the solution as a fantastic opportunity for the two of them to build and improve the product together. So the crucial point is this: raw intelligence, or just having the correct answer, is simply not enough. Letting your boss take some of the credit or framing your brilliant solutions around their previous insights is how you actually get your ideas implemented safely. True influence is achieved through respecting the hierarchy and carefully managing the egos of the people placed above you. Section 5. Expanding your arsenal. Let's move to and see how this builds upon the broader themes of the text, because Law 1 is just the tip of the iceberg. Our source material actually outlines 48 of these principles. While we don't have time for the whole shebang today, let's take a rapid-fire look at a few other critical laws to expand your understanding of this incredibly complex arsenal. First up is Law 3. Conceal your intentions. Use decoyed objects of desire and smoke screens to throw people off the scent. The text uses the fantastic example of Otto von Bismarck in the Prussian parliament. When deputies wanted to rush into a war against Austria that they just weren't ready for, Bismarck didn't argue against it directly. Instead, he created a clever smokescreen. He publicly praised the Austrians and talked up the madness of war. This successfully misled his rivals, securing his prime minister position before eventually launching the war entirely on his own timeline, once the army was actually ready. Next, we have Law 4. Always say less than necessary. The source explains that once words are out, you simply cannot take them back. Fascinatingly, the text points to masters of enigma like the artist Andy Warhol. When interviewed, Warhol would deliberately give vague, almost confusing answers. This effectively forced others to find their own interpretations, allowing him to maintain this aura of mystery and, consequently, an undeniable aura of power. Now, we examine a rather ruthless reality found in Law 7. Get others to do the work for you, but always take the credit. The source illustrates this with a tragic case of Nikola Tesla. Tesla was the absolute genius behind the alternating current system, yet ruthless businessmen like Thomas Edison and George Westinghouse took the credit and the vast fortunes, leaving Tesla to live in poverty. It's a harsh reminder of how power often operates completely independently of fairness. Then there's Law 15. Crush your enemy totally. Show no mercy, or else you give them time to regroup. The text draws upon the chilling history of the great Empress Wu of China. To secure her rise from a concubine to the absolute ruler of the empire, she showed absolutely no mercy. She methodically eliminated any rival, even her own family members, who might challenge her throne because she left her enemy zero options to regroup and plot revenge. She maintained her iron grip on power right up until the age of 80. To give you a sense of the sheer breadth of Greene's work, here's a quick overview of a few more principles. Law 8 advises making other people come to you, granting you a territorial advantage. Law 9 suggests winning through demonstrated actions, never through exhausting arguments. Law 16 notes that creating scarcity through your absence actually increases the respect you command. And Law 35 emphasizes mastering the art of timing, knowing exactly when to wait and when to strike. What we are looking at here is a vast, clinical breakdown of human leverage. Section 6. Mastering the game. As we begin to wrap up our explainer today, it becomes crystal clear that beneath the historical anecdotes and those occasionally ruthless tactics, there's a very prominent overarching theme here. Mastering this game isn't just about memorizing rules. It is fundamentally about deep self-awareness and a profound understanding of how human beings react to power. And this is precisely why all of this matters to us today. Talent is important, sure. Innovation is important. But raw skill means very little if you do not know how to present it within the existing power structure. Your brilliance absolutely has to account for the human egos in the room. You've got to learn how to get your talents noticed without stepping on the toes of those who hold the keys to your success. So I will leave you with this final, provocative thought to ponder. Have you ever seen these power dynamics play out around you? Perhaps someone with a brilliant idea presented it poorly and watched it crash and burn. Or maybe someone subtly echoed their boss's thoughts and secured a tidy promotion. Take a close look at your own workplace. How might you use this structured understanding of human nature to navigate your own world more effectively? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. I do hope you found it enlightening. Until next time, keep observing the game